speak. And as soon as I confirm, I will set us up with the introduction, because it is a beautiful holiday ahead, and we are thankful to have just the gift to infuse our audience with powerful leaders like yourself. So as it looks like we are officially live now, welcome everyone to Freedom Friday. We are thankful that you joined us on this beautiful holiday weekend. Some people are already in holiday, and you are already in holiday. Ian, thank you for joining us. First of all, Freedom Friday is all about infusing our audience with the opportunity to speak about whatever we choose. In this particular year, we are purposely focused on leadership, and we are choosing some powerful leaders. And this time we're international. And Mr. Ian Parker, please share. What would you like to share with our audience to start? Thank you for being with us.
No, April, thank you, and thank you for asking me to be on your Freedom Friday show. It's great, and it is Freedom Friday here because it's Friday night over here in Australia, and it's our Good Friday already has started. So it's fantastic.
And I'm in awe of your commitment of hours and times, because we've got a little bit of delay. As you said, it's Friday evening. So thank you again for committing for the time. And I gave you a set of questions to start our conversation. And which one would you like to start with? Or do you want me to remind you of them?
No. I think the first one was what makes leadership so important to you?
Absolutely. And I wanted to make sure that we set up the audience, because the concept of leadership is different in everybody's different perspectives. And so that's why I'm so excited, and I wanted you to choose which one to start with. So thank you for that, Ian.
So look, as you said, leadership's different to everybody, and it's how they look at leadership and things. In my opinion, I believe that leadership is it's needed for success. Okay, so if we didn't have leaders out there, then success wouldn't grow as it does. And then you move on from that. Without leadership, a business won't grow or survive. So you've got to have leaders in business, and also out of business, in public life and all those sorts of things. And you've got to have leaders. And if we focus on the business side of things, you need to have leaders in business, so the business will survive. And an interesting thing, and a thing that I say to a lot of my clients all the time, that a business will never outgrow its leader. So if the leader's not, out there and willing to grow and willing to be better every day, their business will be stagnant just like them. And the other thing is that a team is always the reflection of its leader. So, many businesses that, I've been to some businesses, and I'll ask them what's their biggest challenge. And the biggest challenge, they tell me, is my sales team or this team or that team. But I said, well, you've accepted that. If you didn't accept that, then you wouldn't be telling me that. But because you've accepted it, the buck stops with you. You can't blame your team if you accept their behavior. So, a leader's got to take responsibility for their team. And great people don't leave great leaders. But great people leave poor leaders. And, if you have the leadership right in your business, it also creates great culture in the business. And it creates a place where people want to come and be. And if it's they want to come and work there, and you've got to make your business a place where people say, I want to work there, I want to be part of that.
100% agreed. I love you started with, and I love how you said what made it so important to you, because you get to infuse people, as we are thankful to do, and work with teams. And as you shared, you started in the auto industry and you moved from there, and I'll let you come back to that in a minute. But I love when you said you accept this. You cannot, as a leader, the buck does stop with you. So if you're accepting certain behaviors, that's your choice. And so your opportunities decide how you're going to address that and get purposeful about that. And then I also appreciate how you said, as we look at the reflection of how, the concept of leadership lids and all kinds of fun stuff we could get into, is leaders, ultimately will allow or not allow certain opportunities, and or they'll go look for other ones. And so tell me when you first started, when you first discovered you were a leader, and what was that journey?
Well, I guess it for me was probably when I left school, and then I I I applied for a job, right? I was actually removed from school by the principal of the school, taken home to my parents and said, "We'd rather you didn't waste your money and our time by sending back to school." So anyway, that was a few years
Wow.
ago now. So and I was told that by my mother that if I didn't have a job by the time school went back, I was going back to school. So I applied. I put an ad in the paper looking for work, and I got a phone call from a supermarket chain that said they were looking for for someone to cut potatoes and peel pumpkins and work in their fruit and veg department. I said, I'm the most qualified potato and pumpkin peeler you've ever seen. Right. So that's where I started. And and I always used to work before that, doing paper runs and things, and always enjoyed working and doing things like that. So when I started here, I was I think I might have been 16 and a half or 17 or something. And I was doing my work. I loved the work, I loved the physical work. And I was always helping other people or other staff members, do things. They'd say, "Oh, Ian, can you help us do this?" And could you lift this for me or lift that for me or whatever? So I do all that for them. And I think then I was earning their respect.
Mhm.
And within about 12 months, I was promoted to the assistant manager there. So I wasn't even 18. And I was promoted to the assistant manager. The people have been working there for, 5, 10, 15 years. There was a staff of about, in that little department, there was about 8 or 10 of us. But I was promoted to that. And then, and I had the respect of the other workers, not because I was young and came in, but I actually earned their respect. Then I was promoted to um, a relieving manager. So I'd travel around the stores and be the relieving manager in that fruit and veg departments around the places. And I always led by example, and I think that's important. So when I would go in there, I sort of have a chat to them. And even though I was young, but I sort of said, this is how we do things, and get their feedback of how they were doing things. And we just kept doing things. And by the time I was, I think I was about 20 or something, I was actually promoted to a big new store that the Coles department had opened in a place called Lithgow in Australia. And, I had 28 on the staff underneath me. And, and it was interesting, they were all a lot older than me,
Mhm.
but I had all the respect. And I think it was because I always led by example. I never asked anyone to do anything I wasn't prepared to do myself. And I had that mentality that it's not my job. So I had that. I didn't believe in that mentality that it's not my job mentality. So even though I was a manager, it was never, well, that's your job. That's your job. Um, to me, we all have the same job. When I had my businesses, I used to say to my staff that the only time that I'm the boss is when I've got to sign the checks and when I've got to make tough decisions. Other than that, we're all together. We're all even. We're all together in the whole team, and there's no titles as such.
There was an organizational structure that you created a level organizational structure. And what I'm hearing, a couple of different things that I want to comment on and then bring you into a couple other questions before we dive into our wrap up question, is there's so many pieces of the puzzle, what you just shared. I want to go all the way back to when you were given the free empowered to go succeed somewhere else, right? I love that phrase. And it was a catapult for you, right? For you to say, you know what, school's not the right place for me. The opportunity to be hands-on. And so many people, I've had this conversation multiple times. Some people are much powerful and vocational, and then the so-called academia world, right? And yet there is a mixture sometimes, especially in the coaching arena, of having some curriculum as well as some hands-on, being able to have a different styles of learning. And so you needed the hands-on, as you said, the best potato peeler there is, right? The opportunity to just really get in and do the work, and that is literally took you through your whole journey, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you, you get knocked down at different times, and you've just got to get up again. And when I left that organisation, I wanted to get into sales, really get into sales, and I applied at a real estate company, and I know your background is real estate, April, and I think I was about 21 or 2 or something, or 3 or something, and I applied for a job in real estate. And anyway, when I applied, the people at the real estate agency said that I would never make it in sales, and you won't get the job. So I ended up getting the job at a car dealership, and they told me I got a job as a trainer. I was second in line, and all that sort of stuff. But to me, rather than take the reject of not good enough in sales, I knew I was good at it. You just got to believe in yourself, and you know, and I think that's the thing that I've brought into my leadership skills and things as well. I coach people and tell people you just got to believe in yourself. If you sell yourself, believe in yourself, believe in your processes, and everything will come for you.
It's so funny you said in the real estate background. I hadn't thought about this in a while. I remember the first test I took as when I was considering real estate. And for all the waitresses out there, I was a full-time waitress most of the time. I had gone into some sales for Nextel sales. I ended up owning my own company for Nextel sales. But I went through this whole process and they interviewed me and they said, you're going to be a top producer in real estate sales when you get over your attitude about salespeople, because you think everybody is a used car salesman. I had to contemplate that. And as you said, I went into car sales, and some of the best real estate agents are come out of car sales. Yet the opportunity again is, who do you show up to be and how do you build relationships? And that's what your company today is all about, is how do you build relationships? That's what I'm all about, is the opportunity to truly invest in others. And that's what you have spent a lifetime learning and committing and being a part of, including the relationship you have with yourself. And that is number one in any situation, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I might just go back to that used car salesperson comment that you made. And it was funny because a lot of times I actually, when I got into the car game and then I opened my own business in 1989, but people said, "Oh, so what do you do for a living when you go out to barbecues and things?" "Oh, I sell cars." "Oh, so you're just a used car salesperson?" I said, "No, no, no, no. I'm not. I'm more than that. I'm a pre-loved motor vehicle consultant."
I love it. That is perfect. To say
Uh,
that pre-love vehicle motor
no,
consultant,
no, I'm a pre-loved motor vehicle consultant,
I
and
love that.
it would just blow the conversation up.
That's perfect. So I just set up a wonderful opportunity there. And that's that identity thing of how can I make it something that's valuable that people will connect with and I can have a conversation around. That is
Yeah,
perfect. So
yeah,
what a wonderful opening. And that's literally what I had to discover. All of us, and I have to tell this to, as you know, a multitude of people, we're all in sales, whether that be selling our child or our grandchild or whoever it is, on convincing them of or influencing them or directing or guiding them. It is, but and it comes back to, what's your motive? What is your opportunity to serve? Are you fulfilling a need? And are you building a relationship before they have a need, as one of my wonderful wise mentors taught. So I'm curious, and that is just such a wonderful opening, because we all have had those opportunities to learn how to reframe and to present ourselves in a light that we want to be seen in, right? And you obviously
100%.
learned that quickly, right? Because I'm sure you have that objection on a regular day basis, right? And through the seasons, you built from there, because you started in the sales auto industry, and now you've built so much more than that. Uh, what skill have you learned over the years that's been the most powerful one?
I think the biggest skill that I've learned over the years is never give up and always believe in yourself. Always believe in your processes. Now, as I said, you'll get knocked down, but you just got to get up 10 more times. If you get knocked down 9, get up 10. And that's the thing with it, because life's not a bed of roses for everyone.
Mhm,
Um, some people might get born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and life's great for them on the outside, but it may not be on the inside.
mhm.
Um, but I'm a firm believer that just keep going, and with the training and things we do with people today, my biggest excitement is seeing my students get amazing results.
Mhm.
And
Agreed.
they just post those results when someone says to me, "Can I say this, that yesterday morning I went and did a launch of our sales program on site. Actually, it was at a dealership, right?
Mhm.
And And I spent 2 hours going through some things and showed them how I can help them, because if they don't buy into you, they won't do your program. They might tell you up front they'll do it, and then you've got to fight for them to do it. So you've got to get them to buy into you. You've got to get them to like you. You've got to build trust and rapport with them, and you've got to show them how you're going to help them. Anyway, one of the things I spoke about, in this sales workshop that I ran, was about using video when you're having trouble following up people, and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, long story short, the when I was leaving, we done the presentation, and I went and launched our online program with everyone on their laptop and things. And when I was leaving, this young sales lady come up to me and said, "Ian, I just want to talk to you." I said, "Yeah, anything? Any questions?" She said, "You know how you mentioned about using video for follow-up?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." She said, "I've just used it on a client that I've been trying to get hold of to come in and drive a vehicle." She said, "And it works."
What a concept, right? Just a little
Awesome.
thing.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and it was an investment of her time, an investment of her commitment, and an
Yeah,
investment of relationship, right? And
100%. But she took the action, April, and
mhm.
implemented it straight away. She thought, I haven't been able to get hold of someone. That's different. And the thing that I loved about that was that she was an action taker. She ran with it.
And I love what you said. She was an action taker. Even on your profile, you purposely put out there, don't keep being persistent, get in, build the relationship, and keep building. And that is what you're saying, whether it's video, whether it's action, whatever that action is, your commitment is to stay into action, right? With the right motive. And I always have to say that, because if we're in the wrong mindset and we're in the wrong commitments, the results are not going to be what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the thing that people are going to understand, and this is where leaders need to come in and show their people, is that they've got to show them the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got to make them understand that being uncomfortable is comfortable.
It's valuable.
Yeah,
It's a long-term result
yeah,
for a short-term discomfort, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
100%. And funny you say that, April, because I say to all my clients and that we coach that what I'm doing with them is short-term pain for long-term gain.
I love that. Perfect. See, you've got some amazing phrases, Ian. I love them. So let's wrap up on one last question, and anything else you want to share is educate our audience, our listeners, besides the 20 tips you gave me to share, and I'll post that after we get done, and educate us. What would be one thing today? Remember that action item, what would be one thing that they could choose to do to improve their leadership today?
The number one thing, can I say there's two things?
Absolutely.
Okay. The two things is lead by example. Okay. Don't tell your team what to do, show them what to do. That's the first thing. And the second thing is have an open door policy. All right. And we had that in all our businesses. I coach that to all the businesses that I coach with. Have an open door policy. It's a great way to grow your team. So what I mean by having an open door policy is this, that normally your team come to you with all the problems in the world, and you get frustrated with them because they come in 10 times a day into your office or whatever, right? If you have an open door policy, you say to your team, you can come to my office with any problem you've got, but you've got to bring a problem, you got to bring the solution with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love
So
that.
when
I always love that.
okay, problem solution. Okay. So they think about the problem, then they think about the solution. They think, you know what? I don't need to go to the office. I've solved that myself. And then I talk to them and show them how to coach their team, that if their solution they bring is not right, don't chastise them because it's not right. Congratulate them on thinking about it, then coach them on what is the right solution, and then explain why it's the right solution. Because again, that's only short-term pain, but for long-term gain, because they grow and learn from that.
And it's perfect tool for the leader as well as the team that the leader they're looking to empower to be even stronger of a leader. And I love the short-term pain for the long-term gain. We have left them with some great nuggets today. Is there anything you wanted to wrap up with?
Oh, look, no, I guess just the last thing to think about as a leader, never ask your team to do anything you're not prepared to do yourself.
100%.
Um, that's probably the other thing it is. But you know, just be prepared. Don't like leaders should never be frightened that they're going to lose their job from someone underneath them.
I absolutely agreed.
All right.
Absolutely.
And some leaders are frightened. I can't teach that person that because they might take my job. If you're good enough, they'll never take your job because you'll keep growing up the ladder and they'll keep coming up behind you.
Absolutely. I love that. And Ian, how do people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you?
You can go to my website, which is ianparkerinternational.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, which is Ian Parker on LinkedIn. So there's two places you can get hold of me at ianparkerinternational.com or just at Ian Parker. You can send me an email. On LinkedIn, it's just straight Ian Parker, or my email address is just ian@ianparker.com.au.
AU. I love that. So thank you for taking the time to invest your time in this late evening for a beautiful holiday ahead. We are wishing everyone a happy Easter. Coach April at onelightahead.com, onelightahead.com for anyone that doesn't know me yet, and also April Ballestero on LinkedIn. We are all about guiding light bulb moments and empowering leaders to love what they do again. And Ian, you are a living example of that. So thank you for taking the time. Have an amazing weekend, everyone, and happy Easter. Bye-bye.
Thanks, April.
Thank you, Ian. Bye.